And you're not focusing just on the Asian demographic.
No.
Though I think there's some implicit kind of marketing or some implicit optics to that.
I think so. I think as growing up as an Asian man in the United States, I mean, I didn't have it very easy. You know, I grew up in Ohio, or I went to high school in Ohio, and I was one of maybe 4 Asian kids in my whole school, right? All white and black school, and few Indians. And I remember, this is a funny story. When we were in high school, we were I was in an intramural basketball team, and we were the only Asian kids, and we made our own basketball team. And on the back of our jerseys, one kid had chink.
No.
One kid wrote yellow, because we put names on the back of our jerseys. And I put gook.
That shit wouldn't fly. That shit wouldn't fly in today's world, man. In the 90s, yeah.
But back then, that was our way of making a social stance.
Ooh.
And it was weird. I didn't really even think about it at the time. It just felt like what we wanted to do. Because we could play. We could play ball. But people see like the group of Asian guys and like, oh, like these guys can't play, whatever. And we grew up around that really kind of weird Asian negativity. And when people say like it's hard for Asians now, I'm like, fuck you. You have no idea what it used to be like. This is amazing now.
Bro,
world is fantastic.
Say less, dude. Growing up in the 80s and 90s as an Asian man, especially in places where it's mostly white and black, dude, it was rough, bro.
It was not easy. And we had to fight our way through all of it to try to break stereotypes. And we had no role models. None.
There were no role models.
Yeah, growing up Asian was not easy. And there was no role models. No one to look up to. No one speaking our truth. No one that had a shared experience with us. It just didn't exist at all.
It didn't exist.
You know, I can't count the number of times I've been a part of a Jackie Chan or a Bruce Lee reference. A million. Right? And after a while, it doesn't even bother you anymore. You're so used to it. It's just a part of who you were. Right? And when we were in high school,
So funny you say that.
Kung Fu movies were getting really big. Wu-Tang Clan had a huge part in that because they popularized Kung Fu movies within the black community.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of black friends growing up. So a lot of hip hop in my life growing up. And, you know, but there was no Asian person to look up to. None.
And back then with a Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker movie, Chris Tucker was racist as shit, dude. But no, like none of us, and I'll just speak for myself, I did not see that as racist. I was just like, it's fucking funny. He's got a bad Chinese accent or whatever he's doing.
Just so happy to see an Asian guy on the big screen with American actors.
Absolutely.
It was such a big deal.
It was huge.
You know, because it was not just a Bruce Lee movie with just Bruce Lee and this, or Jackie Chan and just other Asians, or a Chai on Fat movie, right? Which was huge, right? Right. There was like, they broke through. And for me, that was a big deal back then, you know, and now K-pop is big, and you know all these other things are getting bigger, and you see more Asians out there. But all the Asians in media are so left and woke leaning. Like, where are the free thinking Asians? Because I speak to them and I see them on a daily basis, right? They're everywhere, but yet they're not represented at all. I remember when Andrew Yang made his push for presidency, and at first I was like, "Oh, nice, good for him."
Yeah.
And then he started talking. I was like, okay, okay. He had a couple good ideas, right? He had the universal basic income thing, which I thought was a good idea at first. And then COVID happened, and then everyone got free money, and then you saw what happened. You're like, okay, that idea sucked, right? But at least it was an idea that was interesting and unique. And he kept on pushing on this math thing because I'm Asian and I'm like math. I was like, okay, like fine, I can accept that too.
The trope works.
Because you're running for president, I can accept it. And then it didn't happen, which no one thought he would win anyway. But then he went on CNN and he became a yes man. I was like, oh, what a fucking sellout, bro.
He sold out.
This motherfucker.
He sold out.
He told us that he was different. He was going to battle AI and he was going to do something good for the cause. And I'm smarter than these guys and more. And then he just sold out like everybody else. And I was like, fuck this guy.
I like your term that you just made up. FTA, free thinking Asian.
Yeah.
That's pretty legit.
Yeah.
Like we live in a world today, and for those out there that are watching this, you correct us if we're wrong, but I think there's a true lacking of free thinking Asians.
Yes.
It's like, seriously.
I don't think there's a lack of them. I just don't think they're visible. I think there's plenty of them out there.
That's a better way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's plenty of them out there. Yeah. I just don't think they're represented because society wants to pigeonhole Asians into one category of people, Asian. And they want all the Asians to be one way. They keep on pushing this model minority thing, right? This is how Asians should be. And if you look around, like I don't know many Asian doctors. Like I know of, and I know of many, but they're not the majority. Most Asian guys I know are not doctors, engineers, or scientists. It's just not. But they make it seem like this the road that everyone's pursuing. And then makes other Asian guys feel like, fuck, maybe I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That was never the goal.
That's a good point. It's interesting. What I love about these conversations with you, Matt, is we come from similar backgrounds, but at the same time, there's so much that we've experienced that is different. That when you bring up comments of kind of what you've seen out there in the world and what you've experienced, it clashes against what I've seen, and it makes me think about it because I haven't thought about it this way. But you're not wrong. Like there is this Asian, what did you say? Asian model?
Model minority.
Model minority. I've heard that before, but it's never clicked until now. Like there truly is a mainstream media model minority persona for Asian men.
This is how they want you to be.
Right. So they're almost projecting that this is how we want you to be. Stay in your lane.
Correct. People think this is how Asians are. So this is why the term exists, to show what they're like.
But this must be so shocking to people then, to hear two Asians that can speak a good English, good people English, and talking rationally and logically about ideas and about business. This must be shocking to some people, I think.
I mean, I think it's different, and I think that's why it's exciting. I think that's why I'm excited. Because again, I was actively looking for it. And when I realized it didn't exist, I'm like, fuck it, let's just start our own.
They say the best ideas stem from imminent need. And so you were looking for content creators, for people, free-thinking Asians, communicating on a platform. And since there wasn't, or at least maybe it hasn't been promoted or served to you, which we covered previously, it was your time to say, you know what, I'm going to take on this mantle. I'm going to do it. And let's see how it works.
I think